Hey, I'm Dylan.
And I'm Sam.
And we're here in part 4 of our Magic the Gathering Learn to Play video series. In this video, we're going to learn about card types. Magic cards are grouped into types based on what they do. They tell you when a card can be played, but also what happens after a card is played. Remember, a card's type can be found roughly in the middle of the card, on the type line. So, to see the different card types in action, let's see some cards in play.
The first type of card is one you may have seen before, lands. Lands are the building blocks for everything you do as a planeswalker. If you haven't already, make sure to check out our second video, The 5 Colors of Mana. In that video, we show you everything you need to know about lands. All of these cards, including the lands, are permanents, meaning they stay on the battlefield. Cards that become permanents can only be played on your turn.
The next card type is creatures, an important part of most Magic strategies. Creatures range from the noblest of heroes to the most horrific monstrosities. Basically, there are a variety of beings that we command to do battle against our opponents.
My Warpath Ghoul and Dylan's Runeclaw Bear are creatures. Let's take a closer look. On the type line, you'll notice not only that Warpath Ghoul is a creature, but also what kind of creature it is. It's a zombie. The most important thing about creatures is that they attack and block for you in combat. The power, found before the slash, tells how much damage a creature deals. Its toughness, found after the slash, tells you how much damage is required to destroy it.
Our next card type is Artifact. Artifacts are magical treasures and items you can use in your duel. Artifacts don't usually require any specific color of mana to cast. Let's check out Rod of Ruin. As you can see, you can tap any 4 lands to cast Rod of Ruin. Artifacts have abilities that tell you what they do. The first part of this ability is a cost. This can be mana you have to pay or other instructions you have to follow. See that arrow symbol in the cost? That's the tap symbol, and it means you have to tap the card it's on to activate the ability. Let's see that in action. To activate Rod of Ruin's ability, I pay 3 mana by tapping 3 lands like this. I also have to tap Rod of Ruin itself. Now I've paid to activate the ability, so I get its effect, or the instructions found after the colon. In this case, I can deal 1 damage to a creature or player. Take that, Sam. Even though I have enough lands to pay 3 mana again, the Rod of Ruin is already tapped, so I have to wait until it untaps to activate the ability again.
There's also a special type of artifact called equipment. Equipment can be attached to creatures to give them bonuses. They enter the battlefield like any other artifact, but you can pay its equip cost to attach it to a creature once it's on the battlefield. Looks like Dylan's already gotten equipment out, so let's see how it works.
Like Sam said, I cast Trusty Machete and equipment, and it's now on the battlefield. My Elite Vanguard would love to have that, so I'll pay the equip cost of 2 mana, tapping 2 lands, and equip the Trusty Machete, like this. Trusty Machete gives the equipped creature +2/+1, adding to its power and toughness. Now, the Elite Vanguard is no longer 2/1. He's a 4/2 machete-wielding wrecking machine. Sweet, right? Equipment can really take creatures to the next level.
Our next card type is enchantment. Enchantments are a lot like artifacts in that they stay on the battlefield and affect the game in crazy fun ways. Unlike artifacts though, most enchantments do require a specific color of mana to cast. I already have an enchantment on the battlefield. It's called Levitation. Let's take a look. Levitation gives all of my creatures flying. With this ability, there's no cost to pay, so the ability's just on, as long as Levitation remains on the battlefield. You can learn more about flying and other keyword abilities by going to wizards.com/magic/rules. Now, we just showed you a special kind of artifact called an equipment. Let's show you a special kind of enchantment called an aura.
So here we have Oakenform. Its first ability tells you what the aura must target when you cast it. In this case, a creature. Its other abilities tell you the bonus the aura provides. Let's see that in action. I will cast that Oakenform by tapping a forest and 2 other lands. And I'll choose my Runeclaw Bear as the target. When the Oakenform enters the battlefield, it'll be attached to the Runeclaw Bear, enlarging it to an impressive 5/5.
Hey, Dylan, how about in the next video, I get all the big creatures?
Yeah, about that.
Well, the final type of permanent is the Planeswalker.
At this moment, I can hear you saying, hey, I thought you said we were Planeswalkers.
Well, we did say that, but you can't visit all the worlds of the multiverse alone. You need backup in the form of these very powerful cards.
In fact, they're so powerful, we dedicated an entire video to them. To see it, go make a search for A Planeswalker's Primer for Conflux, Planeswalkers.
The final 2 card types aren't permanents at all. They represent magical incantations or acts of wizardry.
The first is called a sorcery. Like the permanents we've seen, sorceries can only be cast on your turn. When you cast a sorcery, its effect happens. That is, you follow the instructions on the card. Then it goes to the graveyard. To demonstrate, I'll cast Rampant Growth by tapping 2 of my remaining forests. Rampant Growth says for me to search my library for a basic land card and put that card onto the battlefield tapped. So I will search for Forest, put it onto the battlefield tapped, as it says, then shuffle my library. And just like that, we've cast a sorcery.
The final card type we'll be talking about is the instant. Like sorceries, instants have their effect and then go to the graveyard. But unlike sorceries, you can cast an instant whenever you want.
That's right. You can cast them on your turn, cast them on your opponent's turn, even cast them in response to another spell. Check this out.
So I've decided that Elite Vanguard is getting a little annoying. And I have an instant called Lightning Bolt, which deals 3 damage to a creature or player. And even though it's Dylan's turn, I'm going to cast that now.
I don't think I like where this is going.
I'll tap a mountain to pay the mana cost, and aim the Lightning Bolt at the Elite Vanguard. Problem solved.
Ah, but I have a response.
Wait, what?
I have a response. When players cast spells, like Sam's Lightning Bolt just now, all players have the opportunity to respond by casting instants or activating abilities of their own. In this case, Sam, I'm going to respond to your Lightning Bolt by casting Giant Growth on my Elite Vanguard. The response, my Giant Growth, has its effect first. Giant Growth gives my creature +3/+3 until the end of the turn. So my 4/2 Elite Vanguard, remember, he still has that Trusty Machete, becomes 7/5.
My Lightning Bolt will still have its effect, dealing 3 damage to the Elite Vanguard. But now that its toughness is greater than that, my Lightning Bolt won't even kill it.
And a timely bit of spellcasting saves the day. It really is one of the things that makes Magic so great. Moves, counter moves, foiling your opponent's strategy at the last possible moment.
Yeah, well, we're about out of time, and I gotta go revise my plans for future games with this guy.
See you next time.